Okay, can you guys hear me? How's it doing? Have you been to the parties last night? Any hangovers? Did you get hydrated afterwards? That's the basic rule. Okay, so I'm Flavian. I'm the CEO of Bware Labs, and I'm a software engineer with more than 10 years of experience, working in traditional software engineering companies and also in blockchain-related companies. I'm in blockchain since 2018, and let me showcase something about our company. So basically, we started the company 1.5 years ago, and we have multiple lines of business. So our first line is the API platform. So we can think of it of services similar to what Alchemy or Infura provides in terms of API request. In terms of deliveries, we had an MVP in June 2021, and we had 2 days ago release on Blast, which is a rebranded and with more features in the UX and better UX experience. And currently we support 12 networks on testnet and mainnet, and on Avalanche we support mainnet and testnet APIs. That being said, let's go to our secondary line of business. So we have the validator operations, and we run currently validators for a lot of networks, including Tendermint, Polkadot-based parachains, and also indexers and bridges. So we are having like 11 validators running right now for bridges and 2 indexers. And it's worth mentioning at the Avalanche, at this Avalanche conference, that we are one of the wardens that is currently securing the bridge, the Avalanche bridge. And right now there are more than $6 billion worth of assets locked on the Avalanche bridge. So this gives us a good recognition from the team itself and the trust that is given to our project. Also, it's worth mentioning that Avalanche is an investor in us, like they invested in our seed round, and also with the Blizzard ecosystem fund in our Series A that we finished in February 2022. Okay, so that would be enough about us and what we do. Let's get into the details of this workshop whatsoever. So how many of you guys have owned NFTs or traded or nice. How many of you have built NFTs or done some work in that regard? Cool. So the difficulty of this workshop is beginner to intermediate. So we can cross some paths for everyone to understand, and also some more challenging sides of the process, so to say. Let's begin on going through the agenda. It will be a fast overview of the NFTs, how are they usually stored, and also what are the options of storing an NFT. Where do we come into place with our tech in this process, and also we'll take a look on the smart contract deployment, and afterwards how to interact with it from the browser UI. And of course, some production ready steps that must be taken care of. Okay, so NFTs basically come from non-fungible tokens. That may not mean anything to you, but in simple words, they are digital assets that can represent different objects, like music, art, videos, or also digital collectibles. And there are 3 main characteristics that are important in this discussion. So they are indivisible, meaning that you will always have multiple of ones. In terms of NFTs, you will never have a half of NFT or a quarter or something like that. You will always have one or multiple of ones. It's indestructible and also verifiable. And this is given by the blockchain layer in which is deployed. So actually being deployed on a blockchain gives you the indestructible and verifiable part. Okay, so then we'll have to look how actually it's an NFT is stored. So if you take a look at the structure, we can see that we have two parts. We have the token side and the content side. And as you can see in this structure, one side is stored on the blockchain and the other is stored externally. And why so? Is because storing images and videos and other type of medias on the blockchain is quite expensive. So you would have to pay a lot of gas to have all of that on the blockchain itself. So some bright guys thought about a method in which you store the logic and on the blockchain. And what's actually the proof of owning something is the metadata pointer, that it points to somewhere in the internet where the content is really stored. If we dig deeper into the content, we can see that it also has a structure itself. So it's divided between metadata and the image. Actually, the flow would be the blockchain points to the metadata and the metadata points to the image itself. As you can see in the metadata field, you can see you have a description type, you have an image, a name, and some attributes. The image links directly to where the image resides on the internet. So this is the chain of action. The smart contract points to the metadata, and the metadata points up then to the image. So this is the underlying structure that an NFT has. When talking about where you have to store the content, you have basically two variants. You can either have it on centralized storage, like Amazon S3, or you can have it on decentralized storage, like IPFS, meaning interplanetary file system. If we discuss about the pros and the cons, and also the tools that we will use Piñata, simply because it's kind of cute, and in conjunction with IPFS, and also for the centralized part, we will use Amazon Web Services. In terms of comparing the two, on the centralized storage, not touching the laptop anymore. On the centralized storage, you can see that on the pro side, it's easy to use. You rely on some security measures that is given by Amazon or other centralized players. And it's easy to edit, delete, and stay focused. Okay. The cons is that the data can be changed over time. So you can simply put another image. So imagine yourself buying an NFT, looking very nicely. It's stored on a centralized storage, and at a certain point that gets hacked, and you end up having a Pepe meme or something. Also, you can have like data may be unavailable due to data center outages, which mostly happened in the past on the centralized storage side. On the other side, you have IPFS, and here the data is immutable via CIDs. CIDs are kind of a hash function, so to say. You add an image or any type of data, and it will give you a unique hash link. So if you add another another picture, it will have a different CID. So that ensures that you cannot change in time the image itself. Now the cons is that not all browsers support the native protocol. So IPFS is, I think it's only supported by Brave right now, but not all browsers support this. So a workaround is to use gateways. And gateways are basically a wrapper on top of IPFS. So you go to HTTP and get the image through that. But now you add another layer of complexity. So if the gateway is down, you can't see your NFT again. So this is one of the issues of using IPFS. In my personal opinion, I think Amazon is very good to be used at prototyping. When you're testing out, you put your data very fast, you delete it, you do everything you want. And when you're ready to production, you go for IPFS. Okay, now that we have that in mind, we also need access to the blockchain. And in order to do that, we can either have a full node running by ourselves and having a DevOps team maintaining it and having access to it, or we can use a platform or a provider that gives us access to an already deployed blockchain. So in that case, Blast, our product is supporting that. And a natural question would be, why use us and not others? The simple answer is that we are multi-chain. So if you are deploying an a dApp that is using multiple chains, then that would be something to consider, having us and having all the tools in one place. Also, we are clustered in 3 regions. We have a great UX, and we soon will be decentralized. We would need an endpoint for MetaMask interaction and to also access write blockchain data in this workshop. For the part of the smart contract deployment, in this workshop, we will have basically 2 contracts. We'll have the NFT contract that has admin access, and also a separate contract, the claim contract, that users will access to mint their tokens. So basically, this would be for admin privileges, and once you're done, you delete the keys, and that would be forever. And you would have to make some links between the 2 contracts. So first, you have to set a minter role to the claim. So it's a one-way relationship, and basically gives access to the claim contract to access an NFT contract, and also the other way around to set the NFT contract on the other contract. So that would be the relationship between the 2. On the tooling side, we can use a variety of tools. So for deployment, we can use Remix or Truffle or Hardhat. And in our case, we will use Remix. And on the network, we will deploy it on Avalanche C-Chain testnet. After we've deployed the smart contract, we'll have some other steps required for interaction from the browser UI. First, we need to verify and publish the smart contract code. Also, at the same time, we have to have the metadata and digital asset uploaded to IPFS and S3. And then we'll find the contract deployed, mint it, and that's it. We are like boss. In terms of getting to a production-ready step, we would need a smart contract audit, also some branding, and some work that has to be done around the art itself, or what we are trying to to expose what kind of content are we making available via NFTs. And also we would need some front-end development for better UI interaction for the minting process. Great. So this would be a small introduction, and now we can go to the step where we are actually doing and not only talking about. So at this stage, I might not be so good at talking because I can't only do one single good thing at a time. So the first step would be to obtain an endpoint. So we do that by logging at the Blast application. We do that via, we have to have MetaMask installed, and we simply connect, we sign a message, and we sign it. Nobody referred it at this point. And we arrive at the dashboard. We simply add a new project. We say Avalanche demo. And we use it for QA. We create a project, and we select one of the available endpoints. So we will go to Avalanche. We'll say, give me mainnet, give me testnet, and we activate. Great. So now we have an endpoint. The next step would be to add it to MetaMask. And since that takes a lot of time, I already done it. So I have already loaded it. So the next logical step would be to have some AVAX testnet in the wallet. So the usual way of doing it is using a faucet that's available on the web. You simply add your address, and it sends you some AVAX. Already done that process. So we have some testnet AVAX in my wallet. We can go and deploy the contracts on Remix. So here we have the two contracts that I was telling you earlier, the NFT contract and the claim contract. So we begin by compiling the NFT contract. It's compiled, and then we deploy it. We select inject Web3. This ensures that the transaction is made using MetaMask. And we select the contract that we want to deploy. In this case, the NFT version 2 solution. We deploy. It asks for MetaMask to sign this transaction. We confirm it. And based on how the good internet is, the transaction was confirmed. Okay, so now we have the first contract deployed. We can also see it on the Avalanche Explorer. So if we go to the Snowtrace testnet, we can clearly see it that the contract creation was made here. And right now we have one contract deployed. The next step would be to deploy the other contract as well. So going to the File Explorer, we will deploy we'll compile first the claim contract, and then we deploy it. Okay. Let me select the claim contract. Okay. Okay, confirm. Waiting for it to be deployed. Okay, so now we have two contracts deployed. but as seen in the presentation, we are at the stage where we have to make the links between them with the minter role and the NFT contract. So let's first set the minter role. So we will go here. You would see the functions that the smart contract is exposing, the right functions, and down with blue, you'd see the red functions. So if we go to the grant role and we expand, we see that we need to fill out two fields, the role and the account. We will take the role from a read function. So we need to get the minter role. So we use that read function to obtain this code that basically the contract knows that it's the minter role, and we apply it. And also the account that has that role is actually our claim contract. So if we make this NFT go away and we copy the claim contract over here, we copy its address and then we add it here at the account. We transact. It should ask for a MetaMask value, invalid argument. Maybe I've copied the wrong minter rule. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Haven't copied the, yeah, that was the problem. It didn't copy the right address. That's the problem with big fingers. Okay, transaction pending, and now confirming. So now we've, after it gets confirmed, we have done basically this step of setting the minter role. The next step would be to set the NFT contract. So let's do that. It's kind of the other way around now. So we will copy the NFT contract and then we'll put it in the claim contract. So here we have set NFT contract function. We add the address and we apply this function. We confirm it, and now basically the links are made between the contracts. Let's see if it's still pending. Okay, it got into the blockchain. The next step would be to set a max cap. What that means is that you have a contract and you want to have a limited number of NFTs to give to the public. So you wouldn't want to have unlimited number of NFTs. So you set up a max cap, thinking that, okay, we have a limited number of images, so we will set the cap here, and all the transaction that passes that cap will fail. So in this case, we can, for simple demonstration, we'll set the max cap to 2. And more than 2 will fail. The transaction that will try to get an NFT more than 2 will actually fail. Okay, so we have done that as well. Now we have to make the link between the contracts and the content, where the image is are stored that we've shown earlier in the presentation. So the way it works, you have one function here that is called setBase URI, and here is basically the path where all your JSON files resides. So if we go to our metadata structure that we've already made, so we have the metadata that has several JSONs. So in our case, we will mint only 2 NFTs. So we have two JSONs, and we have 2 images that will represent our NFTs. To speed up the process, we used S3 for this step. So as you can see here, we've made 2 folders. Oh, I have to sign in again. But maybe I can fool him. Nah, I have to sign in. Account. Okay. Can you close your eyes now? Okay, ZM68. This was not me. Come on, Amazon. Just do your thing. Okay, now it works. So we go to S3. And here we have made 2 buckets. They are both public, so we'll go for the example one. And here we have the images and metadata that I was telling you about. So the main action point is that we'll have to point the base URI to this folder where the metadata actually stays. So we'll copy this. Come on. Okay, we'll put it here, and we will subtract the JSON itself. Then we'll write it in the contract. So we'll have say set base URI, and let's simply apply it. Okay, we confirm it. And transaction was confirmed. We then say, okay, show me the base URI. It should take some time for it to show, but in the meantime, we can mint actually one. We are at the stage where we can mint a token. So you can either do it from Remix, or once you have the contract, you can put it in Snowtrace. So this would be our contract, and you'd have to verify and publish the contract in order to call the same functions with using Web3 as I was doing from Remix. So this is another step required. On this demo, since we don't have much time, we will do it from Remix directly, and we will say claim and just mint one NFT. Okay, so we minted one NFT, and we should see it in our address right now. So if you go here, we should see our NFT in our address. Okay, we have one NFT here, and we can also see it on NFT Trade. It's the only market that supports Avalanche testnet. So now we can go to it and say my NFTs. And if we've done everything right, then our NFT should be shown here with a nice picture attached to it. But the internet is not going too well. So I'm on. Okay. Okay, since this is loading, maybe we have some time for some Q&As.
Okay, we have like 2 more minutes or 3 more minutes.
Okay, okay. So, do you guys have any questions?
Who's your clientele?
1 second, please. That's not mine.
Who's your clientele?
So our clients include CoinGecko on the infrastructure side, also Connext. We're working with DIA on oracles. So we have a bunch of enterprise clients that are using our APIs in production right now.
So it's not for artists.
This is just a way of showing how to make an NFT and how we are powering that with our infrastructure. Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, this can be a little bit theoretical.
Yeah, sure.
So, for example, if a person can use a website or an email and don't know how TCP/IP work or HTTPS, is it possible, from what we know now, to put everything that you showed like in the background and leave to the user thing that he can understand, like something Web 2 like?
Yeah, they can do that through platforms. This is one side. You can have tools already built for having your NFTs directly. But if you are a project that wants to have like a collections and you go on the development side where you have to dig deeper, and this is the moment where the things gets complicated.
Yeah.
It's easier to simply put it on OpenSea, but more complicated to do the whole process by yourself.
Okay.
If I publish my data on IPFS, my metadata of the NFT,
Yeah.
it's become immutable.
Yes.
Yeah. So how do I how can I add some data? For example, with a level up of a metadata NFT in a game or else of my NFT. You know, some data need to be changed. Where do I put this data if this port is immutable? Where do I put the data I need to be immutable?
So you can do that. You can actually make changes at the level of the contract itself. So you can change the base URI in that case. So to point out to a different direction. So that might be another approach. I'm not an expert on NFTs. I run infrastructure. I've just shown how easy it could be to do it. Okay, any other questions? Okay, if not, you can go here. We've deployed some nice NFTs for attending this pitch. So you just go to the Explorer, and you have a claim function, and do the same as I've done with Web3, and have fun. Thank you for your time.